Whoa now, whatties and whatettes. This is TK with Cuts by Kelly. In this video, I'm doing the mid fade. We're gonna have it bald at the bottom, and he's gonna leave all his hair on top. I'm not touching the top. So this should be a good video, I think, because it takes a little bit of skills. This is something that was hard for me, should I say, when I first started cutting hair. I just thought this was like one of the harder fades to accomplish because it was bald at the bottom with a lot of hair on top. So hopefully you like it. Hopefully you'll find value in this video. And if you do, make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell as well. And you can leave a comment if you have any questions or concerns about what I'm doing. I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. So let's get into the video. Yeah. All right, you see it's been a while since he got a haircut, and this is actually my first time cutting his hair, so hopefully everything worked out to where he'll come back. But I sprayed this hair with water, and then I massaged it in to make it easier for me to comb. And here I am with my 5-0 blade, and I'm setting my ball line. And then the next step is I'm gonna get my number 2 guard and go against the grain, and it's all the way open. I got my blade all the way open, and I'm just knocking out the weight so I can prep myself to fade. So I call this the debulking. That's what I'm doing, knocking out the bulk to get ready for the fade. So after I do that, I'm gonna take the number 1, the 1/8 guard, and do the same thing. So the first one I did was the number 2 or the 1/4 guard and knocked out the weight. Now I'm about to do it with the 1/8 guard. So on this process right here, when you're knocking out your bulk, please don't cheat yourself. Treat yourself on this area, because it's going to make the blend come together real good if you can knock out your bulk and try to make it as seamless as possible. So this is important. Don't cheat yourself on this. My next step is I'm going to set my all the way open line with no guard. You can see that. Got my blade all the way open, and I'm setting my midway point, and then we can start our fading process after this. Now that we have our guideline set, here I am with my 1/16 guard on, and my blade is closed, and now I'm starting my fading process. I'm starting from that midway point, and I'm knocking out that line and working my way up. If you want to, you can start all the way at the bottom with no guard and work your way to the midway point, then put the guard on and fade the rest of the way. I typically do it backwards like I'm doing now. I think it gives me more control of my fade. Maybe I'm just tripping. It's probably just something I like to do, but that's what I'm doing. So right now I'm quarter of the way open, got my blade quarter of the way open, and I'm making my next section. So I'm going up a little bit more, and I'm going back and forth like 3 to 4 times really. And after that, I'm work my way up to the next step. So I'm still going through my fading process. I got my blade 3/4 of the way open, or 75% of the way open, and I'm just knocking out the line going up. And as you go through this process, you're going to see the fade come together. So just trust the process. here we go. This is the last step with this 1/16 guard on. I have my blade all the way open, and I'm trying to blend that fade into the 1/8 that I set at the beginning. So I'm going and I'm knocking out the last line or the last step, and when you see it, you're going to see the blend come together towards the top. If you still have any weight lines there, you could put on your 1/8 guard and go back over the area that you initially set at the beginning. So now I'm going to the bottom because I did everything I could do at the top right now. So I'm doing those same steps just with no guard on. Close quarter, 3/4, open, and you know we're going to finish right where we started at the beginning, right there in the middle. The process works, like I said, you just got to trust it. You can start the way I did, or you can start from this point right here and then fade all the way up. You can start with the no guard and go close quarter, 3/4 open to that midway point. Then you can put on your guard and work your way from the midway point to the top. So another thing I want to point out too is what I typically do is I'll do my fading process and then I would do my spot check after. You don't want to waste too much time when you're going through your fading process, because you're going to catch all your spots when you do your spot check. But you do want to go over each section 3 to 4 times when you doing your initial fading process, because you should be able to catch most of the hair, and that will leave you with less hair to catch during the spot check. Now I have my blade all the way open, and I'm pretty much connecting that bottom part to the top part. I'm just making the blends connect together. If you like what you see so far, please hit the like button. If you're gaining any knowledge and you want to see more, please hit that subscribe button. Also, leave a comment if you have any questions. I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. But let's get to the spot check. Now that everything is blended, here is the spot check that I talk about and how it is important. You really just want to look for spots and try to catch them. So right now I have my 1/8 guard on, and I'm checking for spots up here. Then I'm gonna put on my 1/16 guard and check for spots in that area, and then I'll take off my guard and spot check really all over the blend. I'll check it at the bottom. I can also check it at the top. I just need to turn my clippers a little bit more to get those areas. You'll see me when I do it. Here I am way at the top with no guard on. This is like a no-no, but since I got my clipper turned to the side like this, it won't take that much off, and it helps me to be a little more precise on the spots that I'm trying to get out. Like always, I feel like you always will leave spots, Sometimes you get the perfect blend, sometimes you leave them. But when you look at your work, just make sure you try to do your best each and every time that you do it. Here we go to this next spot, the next part should I say. I'm going to trim up this front to get it prepped for the lining. That's all I'm doing, because he don't want me to touch the top of his head. So here I go, I'm just trying to set up for the lining so I wouldn't have hair overlapping my lining. So I want y'all to see this space right here. You can see that space. You can see his lining is down in the middle, and that's where we're going to start, right there in the middle. And then we're going to work our way to his right side, my left. Then we're going to go across the other side and go right across that space. I don't want to go way up on that, because then I'll be pushing his hair back. So I'm gonna go where most of the hair is, on the left side, the side that I'm on right here. I'm lining that side up, then I'm gonna work my way to the right because of that space on the right. There's not much hair there, so I'm gonna work on the side where there's more hair at, if that makes any sense to you. By me trimming the front of his hair, it makes it easier for me to line it, and then it's also going to help the lining last longer, because once he leaves out the shop and lays down or whatever for the night and wakes up, the hair could be over his lining. But since I trimmed it, it just gives that lining a longer longer shelf life. You can see the line looks pretty good. Like I told you, I started on the thicker side, and then I worked my way across that gap, but it looks pretty good. Right now I'm turning them towards the mirror to make sure I have it even on both sides. I'm about to spray them down with some enhancements just to make it pop, and also just to showcase my skills. This is my first time cutting his hair. I don't really do this with everybody I cut for the first time, but I like to do it sometimes when I have the chance, and just to let them see what I'm working with, and then hopefully they'll come back. So we're coming to the end of this video. I hope you like this content. This is the before, when he was hurting and he was rooting for the Buffalo Bills. That's an inside joke. So yeah, he was hurting. And this is the after, when he started rooting for the Saints. Who dat? But if you like this content, man, please like and subscribe. If this brought you any value, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. Also leave a comment if you have any questions or concerns about my content, and I'll try to get back with you as soon as possible. But with that, this is TK with Cuts by Kelly, and I appreciate you.